Politics and major projects, why the province and the feds are at odds over high-speed rail as the Ford government looks for leverage to expand Toronto's downtown airport. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. In a tit-for-tat political dispute, it appears members of Ford's government are thinking about yanking support for high-speed rail. This after the feds rejected the proposal to expand the Billy Bishop Island airport located in downtown Toronto. CTV's Austin Lee is following this story for us today and joins us live with more. Austin.
Well, Stefan, a source tells CTV News the province is reconsidering its support for the $60 to $90 billion high-speed rail project. 11 Conservative Eastern Ontario MPPs are also coming together, releasing a joint statement raising concerns over Alto's plans. Carleton MPP and former Ottawa City Councillor George Darouze is one of the Conservative caucus members who signed on to the statement. The statement says, in part, when it comes to Alto, too many questions remain unanswered and too many voices have been ignored. Among those who are opposed to the mega project, Caroline Etter, whose family owns multiple farms in line with one of the possible routes. She says she was encouraged to see the statement from the area MPPs, but she wishes it came sooner.
It's a bit late for me for them to be involved in this. I mean, it's still positive that they get involved. I mean, they're put it there by constituents. Not knowing if you're going to get expropriated within a few months or a year or two is extremely, it's driving some of the farmers to rethink their future.
Now, for its part, Alto says the project is being shaped through one of the most extensive public consultation processes in Canadian history, adding, quote, "We remain committed to listening to local concerns and feedback received through these discussions continue to inform project planning and development." Stefan.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us. Thank you, Austin. When it comes to going the distance, it's not always about speed for this next story. Ironman Ottawa is happening this weekend. It will see athletes putting their bodies through a grueling near all-day physical challenge that will have many in awe. But as CTV's Leah Larocque is about to tell us, the big winner could be the city, expected to see an influx of people and a major economic boost. Leah.
Well, Stefan, if you just take a look behind me, that is the finish line, and that is what nearly 3,000 athletes will be chasing this weekend in the Ironman. Just imagine what these athletes are about to do. 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike ride, then lacing up and running a full marathon. This is the second year that the race has been here in the capital. Last year, it was a major success. It generated an estimated $8 million into the economy, and Ottawa Tourism says that this year could be even more.
No music allowed, so it's just you and your thoughts the whole day, which tends to get a little bit dark on the run sometimes, but it's definitely a fun time. It's just about, being in the moment, being present, and working through every step and just keep kind of taking a step at a time.
There are a few changes to the race course from last year. One of the big ones, of course, is the finish line. It was on Murray Street, and it has been moved here to Major Hills Park. There are a lot of road closures that you'll want to take note of. We have a full list of them on our website because, of course, to do all of those major distances requires a lot of real estate. So there will be some traffic impacts on the weekend, but race organizers, athletes say come out, support them. The weather is hopefully, fingers crossed, going to cooperate, because we talked to some athletes and race directors and they say they are both ready. The only thing they can't control is the weather, but hopefully the rain holds off. Back to you, Stefan.
That's CTV's Leah Larocque. Thank you, Leah. In other news, Ontario Provincial Police now say the death of a person in Augusta Township earlier this month is being investigated as a homicide. Officers responded to a home on County Road 26 near Prescott on July 8th and found a person deceased inside. No other information has been provided. Police say the death is believed to be an isolated incident. Turning to new details now about the Ottawa rideshare driver charged with sexual assault. The newest development is that Uber is confirming the suspect driver was working for its platform when the incident occurred. Also, police are releasing this photo of 36-year-old Mohamed Laarous under the suspicions there could be more victims. The investigation began on July 25th. Laarous also drove for the ride-sharing service Lyft. Ontario's police watchdog is investigating an allegation of sexual assault against an Ottawa police officer while they were on duty earlier this year. The Special Investigations Unit says it was contacted by Ottawa police last Friday after receiving a complaint about an alleged assault in January. The SIU has assigned 2 investigators to the case. No other information has been released. In developing news, we now know that the suspect arrested following a shooting in Gatineau yesterday is a 41-year-old man. Police say he is facing several charges. The shooting happened in the area of Rue Dollard des Ormeaux around 10:40 a.m. yesterday. The gunshot victim was taken to hospital and is now in recovery mode. A new City Commission study says Ottawa will need to accommodate more than 257,000 new households by the year 2051, and so to help make room for the city's expected population growth, the study recommends expanding the urban boundary. 6 years ago, the city projected Ottawa's population would reach about 1.4 million by the year 2046. Now the province says it could reach nearly 1.7 million by 2051. That's an increase of more than 500,000 people. The study says accommodating that growth could require expanding the urban boundary by about 2,700 hectares, almost the size of Barrhaven as we currently know it.
Province is giving us new population projections that they want us to plan for. And those numbers have climbed even higher from the last set of numbers, which was higher than what we did in our last official plan. It may be that we need to expand our urban boundary, but I know myself and I know a lot of colleagues are going to be keen to try to keep that as tight as possible.
The city says no decision has been made on whether Ottawa's urban boundary will expand. It says staff are expected to report back to council with recommendations early next year following further analysis and public input. WestJet flight attendants could be on the picket line as soon as Sunday. 4,400 flight attendants could walk off the job as part of the strike. A key sticking point is compensation for work done on the ground, the same issue which led to a work stoppage at Air Canada last summer. WestJet says passengers with flights scheduled between July 30th and August 4th can make a one-time change or cancellation with no fee.
The government has extraordinary cooperation on a number of very, very important economic projects with Mr. Ford's government.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, petty politics or broken promises. CFRA's Christy Cameron goes off script about the province's conditional support of high-speed rail following a federal rejection for plans to expand Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport. And our Jackie Paris is across river in Gatineau, where the annual fireworks competition is getting ready to kick off. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Despite the light rain showers that we saw throughout the day and the gray skies, things are starting to clear up slightly, and conditions are looking pretty decent for tonight's fireworks, the grand opening. Now, taking a closer look at what we can see for our temperatures right now, we are looking at about conditions for tonight. Clear skies, cloudy conditions as well will carry on into 1 a.m. Tomorrow, it's another cloudy day. As we get to the noon hour, could be some clear, like spot isolated showers as well. Taking a look at our temperatures right now and in the next couple of days, about 19 starting off, 22 to 24 daytime high, anticipating mainly sunny skies in the evening. We'll get a closer look at your forecast and more in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. Part of Lansdowne's Great Lawn will turn into an outdoor movie theater. Lansdowne movie nights happen every Thursday at sunset. Tomorrow's showing is the SpongeBob movie. It will start playing at 9 p.m. Now for a live check on traffic, the 174 eastbound out to Orleans is seeing moderate to heavy traffic volume from the split to Montreal Road. Woodruff eastbound is backed up from Maitland to Parkdale, and our very busy corridor, the western stretch of the Queensway westbound lanes are slow going from Bronson to Woodruff. You're watching CTV News at 5. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. In case you're just joining us, the Alto high-speed rail project is facing another potential roadblock, this time not from protesting residents, but rather Ontario politicians. Sources say the Ford government support was conditional in getting the expansion of Toronto's downtown airport approved for takeoff, but the feds rejected that last week, and it appears Ford is set to reject Alto this week. CFRA's Christy Cameron is here to help us go off script. Christy.
It certainly does feel like a bit of a face-off between the federal government and the province, a tit-for-tat situation. Now, you could look at this stuff and you could say this is leverage, this is negotiation, that both sides are trying to get what they want. But let's back it up here. The timeline is on Friday, the federal government undercut the Billy Bishop expansion in Toronto. Now, the province is looking like it won't support high-speed rail. Doesn't seem like a coincidence, does it? All of a sudden, we get this letter from 11 MPPs voicing their concerns. Again, to me, it seems like the province is saying, if we don't get our jets, then you don't get your train. It could be a bargaining chip, but I really don't want to reduce the opposition to Alto down to politics, because there are real people here that are potentially in the path of this high-speed rail corridor, farmers and residents who really do have legitimate issues surrounding Alto. And I spoke with one person like that today on the show. Her name was Katelyn O'Connell-Renault. She's with a group called Alt No. It's a group of residents in St. Eugene, Ontario, opposing this. Take a listen.
This project hasn't been properly reviewed. It needs a reset. It needs all of our politicians to engage with this seriously and honestly. This is a mega project, the likes of which we have not seen before, and it deserves a lot more scrutiny and a lot more serious consideration and assessment.
You know, Christy, I take that listener's point very well and very strongly, considering what we went through LRT. So if you're going to do it, you want to get it right. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that like the idea of high-speed rail and being able to go between cities faster.
Absolutely. Proponents of this would tell you that this is a nation-building project, that we're a G7 country and that we need to act like one. I've heard from a lot of listeners who believe that we need to invest the money because it is radically going to change our travel times. For example, if we do move ahead with this, it could cut the travel times in half from Quebec City to Toronto. I say if, because we'll see.
We'll see. It could also boost tourism dollars, but I digress. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation, leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel.
It's a cool moment for me. It's a cool moment for my family. And yeah, I'm just grateful that they have that trust in me, that they want to have me around for the next 5 years.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, from Ottawa rinks to a $37 million NHL contract. Brandt Clarke tells us more about his journey to hockey stardom and why Ottawa will always be home. Here's what you need to know. The Orleans Farmers Market is on tomorrow. It happens every Thursday until the end of October. You can find more than 30 vendors at the Ray Friel Recreation Complex on 10th Line Road. They will be there from 11 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. We'll be right back. Coming up later tonight on CTV, E-Talk starts at 7, The Big Bang Theory at 7:30, MasterChef at 8. Then you can watch The Rainmaker and an episode of The Borderline. Let's head back over to the Canadian Museum of History for another check on the weather. That's where we find Jackie Paris live ahead of tonight's fireworks kickoff, where the schedule is always weather dependent. Jackie.
Always weather dependent, but they say, you know, this event's happening rain or shine. The only thing that would hinder it is lightning. That is not in the forecast for this evening, so this is the good news. Here's a live look. There is Centennial Glass sky cam. It's 22 degrees, but feeling a little bit cooler. If you are checking out the fireworks tonight, bring a light jacket because the winds are still picking up. We've had wind gusts throughout the day between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Now, cloudy skies is what we're currently seeing out here down along the river. And this will continue into the evening. Yes, there is a slim chance that we could see some light rain moving through, but it shouldn't last very long. It should be clearing by the midnight hour. Cloudy skies will carry us into tomorrow morning. Yes, there is a chance for some isolated showers, but by the time the evening rolls around for our Thursday, we are anticipating mainly sunny skies. There is still a risk of some thunderstorms, though. It's overnight conditions, 17 degrees, the overnight low. Tomorrow, starting things off at 19 degrees. The chance of showers will carry us into noon. We will see the return of humidity. By noon, it will feel closer to 27. 4 p.m., there is the chance that we could see a thunderstorm risk for parts of the region. By 8 p.m., mainly sunny skies, 24 the anticipated daytime high, but I anticipate with that humidity levels, it'll feel much warmer as well. Meanwhile, the valley, 17 overnight, chance of showers, 27 for the daytime high tomorrow. And then the Seaway, very similar conditions, 28 degrees is the anticipated daytime high with a mix of sun and cloud. So I know we were saying that Friday we are likely going going to get lots of sunshine. However, now there is a slight chance that we could see showers moving through. 28 the daytime high. Saturday, Sunday looking a little dicey with some showers moving through. It likely won't be until Monday that we could see the return of mix and sun and cloud.
After a breakout season with the NHL's Los Angeles Kings, Ottawa's Brandt Clarke has been rewarded with a new $37 million contract. But despite spending most of the year in the Hollywood Hills, Clarke still calls Ottawa home. For today's edition of Simply Ottawa, CTV's Dylan Dyson sat down with Clarke, who's growing into an NHL star.
Clarke, jam attempt, score! Brandt Clarke has tied it for LA!
Brandt Clarke is the Los Angeles Kings' newest star in Hollywood. After a career year in LA, the defenseman from Ottawa has been rewarded with a new 5-year, $37 million contract.
They believe in me and they want to keep growing alongside me. So I think it's a cool moment for me. It's a cool moment for my family, and yeah, I'm just grateful that they have that trust in me, that they want to have me around for the next 5 years.
And the journey to get there started here. Clarke back here for the summer, training with well-known local trainer Tony Greco. Ottawa, he says, will forever be home.
I've loved coming back to Ottawa. My intention is to come back here for, as long as I play. I mean, maybe, other factors might come in the future, but as of now, that's where my head's at.
About 5 years ago, we set a goal, and I think he might have it still in his notes. I don't know if he shared that, but we said, this is, what you're going to do. This is what's going to happen. And, that number that we want to fulfill just of his hard work is kind of come true now.
It seems like a constant's kind of coming back to this gym with Tony and, just skating together always. And kind of we're our two biggest training partners in the summer, so it feels good every summer to come back to that. That feels normal to us, so it's been good.
Despite starring for the Nepean Raiders and Junior Sens, Clarke says it was keeping up with his older brother Sens prospect Graham Clarke that helped get him to this moment.
I think that's propelled me to okay, this is the standard I have to keep myself. And I don't know why my 6-year-old brain kind of thought like that, and I don't think a lot of people maybe are like that, but that's just how I was, and I think that propelled me to where I am today.
Now from the World Juniors to the NHL, always following his dad's advice to put on the Brandt Clarke Show.
I want to be that guy, I want to help the team the best way I can. I want to be relied upon. I want to soak up these big minutes and stuff like that, because that's just who I am. I want to embrace the moment.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
We've got to love the throwback footage, and we want to hear your stories of people doing good, spreading joy, making a difference, or marking a notable achievement. We'll be showcasing stories that touch our hearts and make us proud of our city. Simply Ottawa. You can send your story ideas to ottawanews@ctv.ca.
I feel amazing. I feel so happy and so blessed and very, very grateful.
Weeks of clues, one hidden prize, and one very happy winner. Coming up, we meet the winner of the Lazy Boy $15,000 comfort heist. Stay with us. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. The temperature right now, 22 degrees, and it's time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
Not knowing if you're going to get expropriated within a few months or a year or two is extremely, it's driving some of the farmers to rethink their future.
Alto high-speed rail potentially facing a political roadblock. Sources say the province could pull support after having a proposal to expand the downtown Toronto airport rejected.
It may be that we need to expand our urban boundary, but I know myself and I know a lot of colleagues are going to be keen to try to keep that as tight as possible.
Expanding Ottawa's urban boundaries could become a future reality, why councillors suggest the city may not have a say in the matter.
You could hear a pin drop. And as a matter of fact, the commentators said you can hear the raindrops falling on the track. It was so quiet. And as soon as I went over, the place just exploded.
Plus, an Ottawa hero marking his Olympic milestone, Greg Joy, talks to us ahead of his anniversary that had the entire country celebrating a huge Canadian moment, igniting national pride 5 decades ago. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6, right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today.
This announcement is about far more than new trains.
The federal government plans to spend $1.6 billion to replace 45 of Via Rail's aging locomotives and another $357 million to build a new assembly plant and maintenance facility. 36 of the locomotives will be built in Canada by a Swiss-based company, the other 9 in Spain. They are expected to be the first hybrid trains in North America. The first ones are expected on the tracks in 2031.
What we're seeing is an attitude that has long been held by the wealthy.
The billionaire CEO of Shopify, one of Canada's richest companies, which started in Ottawa, is facing backlash over comments he made about voting power. On the social media site X, Toby Lucky responded good system to a post proposing Canadians receive more votes based on how much income tax they pay. The proposal suggested up to 5 votes per people paying more than $500,000 in income taxes annually. In neighboring Quebec, allergy medication Benadryl could be disappearing from shelves. The province's poison center says it supports the Quebec government's proposal to move the medication behind the counter. By reclassifying and restricting access to Benadryl, pharmacists would be able to flag risks for overdoses. The poison center says it's concerned about the growing number of poisonings. There were 603 cases in 2024, half of them accidental. The annual fireworks competition by Casino Lac Lémy is set to get underway tonight, and it's a showcase of dazzling displays from different countries. Tonight's display is an event launch and won't be from a competitor, but Canada's on deck come Saturday. Fireworks are scheduled every Wednesday and Saturday starting tomorrow until the 15th of August. The other countries competing are France, Brazil, and China.
$15,000 to spend at Lazy Boy. Way to go, Kerry Morgan!
Move 100 listener Carrie Morgan is a grand prize winner of CTV and Move 100's $15,000 comfort heist to spend at Lazy Boy. The contest took place over several weeks, involved clue words and an effort to find the furniture that had been taken during the fake heist. Using the clues, Carrie rightfully found the furniture at the Dow's Lake Pavilion. That's CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. The early edition of National starts right now. Thanks for watching, everyone.